10 News Pinpoint Weather Report is sponsored by Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Nobody wows clients like we do.
Looking at the weather, we have a really different forecast depending on where exactly you are. If you're on the coast, stuff is really calm. If you're going to the beach, perfect day for it. But then for the mountains and the deserts, it's a little more complicated. We still have heat alerts for those parts of the county. They could even see a chance of thunderstorms by this afternoon. But all of us are going to end up calming down a little bit and cooling down once we get towards the end of the week. But right now, stuff looks like this. It's a pretty warm morning. San Diego's really cloudy. The marine layer clouds actually help hold in some of that heat we got yesterday, and that's part of the reason why the coastline is hanging out in the upper 60s. In the neighborhoods, still warming up. Ramona's under 60 degrees, but all of us are just going to take a couple more hours to warm up. Now, most places are going to see the sun come out in between 8 and 9 this morning, but if you're on the coast or if you're right next to the water, could be around 9 to 10 a.m. And if you're at some of the beaches, the clouds could be a little bit more stubborn even through the afternoon. But overall, looking at a beautiful day, but as I mentioned, really hot for parts of the county. You see heat alerts stretching all up and down Southern California. Here in San Diego County, we have the mountains that have a heat advisory extended through Monday night, and then in the deserts, an extreme heat warning that lasts until Tuesday night. So this part of the county, really hot. This part of the county looking a lot more manageable. San Diego's going to feel a lot like yesterday, high of 74 degrees. Our inland neighborhoods are cooling down by a couple more degrees, looking at a lot of mid-80s, high of 84 forecasted for Escondido. Mountains still staying pretty hot, highs around 90 degrees. Deserts reaching up as high as 111. And notice that for the mountains and the deserts, they actually have a 20% chance of seeing thunderstorms this afternoon. What's happening here is some really high humidity air coming from the Gulf of California. It's staying confined to the mountains and the deserts, so it doesn't affect anybody else, but it's bringing in just enough moisture, just enough fuel to create that small chance of thunderstorms. Main concern here is that you really don't want dry lightning coming down because stuff is already dry. We've already seen plenty of wildfires pop up all over Southern California over the past few days because we're still suffering from drought. Locally, 100% of the county suffering from either severe or extreme drought. We're seeing those similar conditions all around the state. That creates a pretty big fire risk, so make sure you're prepared. Things like having a defensible space around your home, at least 100 feet, especially if you're one of those more vulnerable places, having an emergency kit, and of course, some type of plan in case a fire breaks out near you. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to see a little bit of cooling once we get towards the end of the week. We have an area of high pressure, think like a heat dome type of weather pattern that's going to keep us warm for now, but that pattern breaks down once we get towards the end of the week, and so we get just a couple degrees cooler. All this is really subtle on the coast, though. It's only the difference between San Diego being mostly sunny and 74 next couple days and seeing highs of 72 for Friday and Saturday. So as far as the coast is concerned, stuff is staying pretty much as good as it can get. And then for our inland neighborhood, that's when you start to notice a difference, going from mid-80s to low 80s by Friday and Saturday. For the mountains, you're seeing roughly the same stuff. The risk of thunderstorms goes away by tomorrow, and they drop down a whole 8 degrees for the daily highs by Saturday. Deserts, unfortunately, staying really hot, but at least for Saturday, they're below 104. So all of us are cooling down, but the coast is staying nice for the next week.